May 15th, 2023, end of day, Monday. Our Father, who gives his servants great gifts of the Spirit. The book of Daniel, chapter 4, verses 9 to 10, says this. I said, Belteshazzar, chief of the magicians, I know that the spirit of the holy gods is in you, and no mystery is too difficult for you. Here is my dream. Interpret it for me. These are the visions I saw while lying in bed. I looked, and there before me stood a tree in the middle of the land. Its height was enormous. This passage is an excerpt from the testimonial letter that Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, wrote of his encounter with the Most High God. Nebuchadnezzar wrote that he had a dream that concerned him, and no wise men of his court could interpret it for him until Daniel the prophet, whom the king had named Belteshazzar, arrived. The king wrote that he had great confidence in Daniel because the spirit of the holy gods was in him, and that no mystery was beyond his ability. The gifts of the Spirit in which Daniel was operating had commended Daniel to the high courts of the land, and thus he had been appointed chief magician. Nebuchadnezzar asked Daniel to interpret the dream for him and proceeded to tell of the visions he saw of a great tree standing in the middle of the land. As he looked, a loud voice spoke directing that the great and lofty tree be cut down and the stump be bound in iron and bronze, and remain in the ground among the grass. The voice commanded that he be covered in dew, and that his mind leave him and be replaced with the mind of an animal. The spiritual gift in Daniel responded to the dream, and he was terrified by the thoughts that entered his mind. Nebuchadnezzar wrote that he told Daniel not to let the dream or its meaning alarm him. Daniel then told him that the dream was not about his enemies, but about him, and that it foretold that he, though great and mighty, would fall from power and be like an animal in the field, covered in dew and eating grass. Daniel also indicated that the king would remain in that state for 7 years, but would be restored to his rightful mind and have the splendor of his kingdom restored to him. The king then wrote in his testimony that the things that Daniel had said of the dream came to pass precisely, and that he, Nebuchadnezzar, was now testifying of the greatness of God. Daniel chapter 4 verse 37 concludes Nebuchadnezzar's testimony this way. Now I, Nebuchadnezzar, praise and exalt and glorify the King of heaven, because everything he does is right, and all his ways are just, and those who walk in pride he is able to humble.